I'm Vanessa Tyler. Welcome to the new season of What's Eating Harlem, where we cover the most exciting community in the world. There is so much going on here in Harlem. Let's get started.
I've had people sit in their car and eat 6 cupcakes, then come back in.
They have their customers hooked on Baked Cravings.
A glamazon is a woman who owns her beauty.
Welcome to the world of glamazon, Kim Baker's vision of beauty for you. Hear the story behind the blush. They got the look and the mindset. Only in Harlem. That's Harlem Style with Selena Hill. An invasion of the birds, uptown, the beauty, the wild, the unusual art at Gitler Art Gallery.
All of that and more on this episode of What's Eating Harlem.
This is sweet heaven. Inside is a treasure of fresh-baked, moist, creamy cupcakes. Welcome to Baked Cravings, perfect name for the Spanish Harlem Cupcake Bakery. Because if you don't crave a cupcake now, you'll soon want 1, 2, maybe even a dozen. Edwin Figueroa, better known as Eddie the Baker, is serious about his sweets. Look as he swirls around that delicious buttercream. There is a story behind these sweets, how a group of guys decided to partner and make cupcakes.
We all worked at a bakery prior in the city, and the bakery basically kind of shut down in a sense where it was outsourced a lot of the production.
He says the owner of the bakery decided to continue the cupcake division and keep making cupcakes. And as employees, they were going to move cupcake production elsewhere.
So I spent almost a year looking for different locations for the company, different retail locations, and I came up against this location in East Harlem, which I thought was a great corner location. And the owner, I don't know, got shaky feet about being in Harlem.
Since the owner was not sure about Harlem, instead desiring a downtown location, the friends thought the location at 1673 Lexington Avenue, right on the corner, was perfect. So perfect, they decided to buy it themselves. That's how Craig Watson, Eddie the Baker, and a third partner, Rui Kojima, decided to become cupcake guys. Instead of working for someone else, work for themselves in Harlem.
I grew up in Harlem, and just to see a change and the improvements that's being made, everyone's positive vibe, the community comes in, they talk to you, and it's like, I see the kids go to school, and sometimes I've seen them so much, I feel like they're my kids sometimes. They just walk by, and I'm like, hey, how are you? And we have a conversation, so it's really good.
The community also comes in to sample and buy the cupcakes, which comes nut-free and gluten-free. They have a name for their loyal customers. They call them cravers, part of the Crave Nation.
Hey, my friend, what's up?
No doubt I'm one now. What I crave is their specialty called cupcake in a jar.
The first thing you want to do when you're building your jar is place the piece of cake into the jar.
Eddie the Baker says Baked Cravings cupcake in a jar is what people want, and from everywhere they order online, so easy to ship.
We're going to take our cream and we're going to go around the sides and then work in the middle.
He layers the sweet cream and sliced cupcake in a mason jar, constructing the treat like an artist using icing for this masterpiece.
And here we have it. Cupcake in a jar.
That was fantastic.
All right.
That was fantastic.
They have all the flavors in the jar, including this decadent treat infused. It's Hennessy cupcake in a jar.
It's really, really, really good. I had a bite and I was like, I really don't taste the Hennessy that strong. And 5 minutes later, I was like, oh, Hennessy came along, you know.
From cakes to cupcakes, making a business out of making people say, delicious.
It's been really great, actually. The community here in 105 and Lexington Avenue, it's really diversifying. So it's been great. So we got everyone from the barrio coming in. We got the new people who've just moved in coming in. We've also had a great reaction from all the nut-free moms in New York City.
They're so glad they took the chance and jumped out on their own.
At some point, you want to try to have your own as well because you're helping everyone else. Why not help yourself?
Are you ready to get your glamazon on? Kim Baker can beat a face. She is a celebrity makeup artist, often hobnobbing with the A-listers. But the makeup she is using now is special because the makeup she is using is hers.
I can't stop praising God. I can't stop praising God because it all started as a thought and put the hard work in and then see it become reality.
She is a go-getter, and she went after her dream, and God blessed her because she's a hard worker. I mean, most days she didn't go anywhere. She was constantly pounding the pavement, doing what she could to make this happen.
Family, friends, and fans packed Ricky's for the launch party for Glamazon Makeup, letting us touch it, feel it, and try it on. Legendary beauty expert Mickey Taylor loves the line.
I think the line is amazing. I love the textures, I love the color range, I love the thought that went into it because it really feels like skin. That's the best way I could describe it, and it goes on like that, and it really looks like you, only better. Kim has been in the business for years. Who better than Kim to create a line with names that we want to roll off our lips? You know, Glamazon, who doesn't want to be a Glamazon?
Kim Baker has been in the business of beauty for decades. First in front as a traditional size model, you know, the 0s, 2s, and maybe 4s. Then breaking in the big beauty business, a pioneer in the then emerging concept of plus size models.
I was on both ends of the spectrum, and what made me really want to do makeup is I saw how it empowered me. You know, I would transform, literally.
As a model, she was able to see the masters at work.
Yeah, Reggie Wells, Frank Cooper, Ray Bandy. I mean, I worked with Ray Bandy at age 13 when I was on the test board for elite models. So I've been in the beauty industry my entire life, like my entire adult life.
But this is big, taking her love of beauty, getting the financial backing, and making it happen. Her dream to provide beauty in every shade to the women of Harlem and women everywhere.
I think the makeup is phenomenal. It gives you a fresh, radiant look, and it's not too cakey, and it's light on your skin.
Kim's mother is a walking endorsement.
This is one of her lipsticks, and it stays on all day. People at my job, they ask me, June, when do you go into the ladies' room to replenish your lipstick? I said, it's a good product. It stays on all day, honest to God.
Kim is a mother of 2 daughters. She is even a glam mom, and now the CEO of a dream.
I know this is going to sound like a cornball cliche, but it's more important to be beautiful on the inside and then let it reflect on the outside. I mean, we live in a society where the first thing you see is the person's, imagery. So it does have, some importance in our society, but I think when a person has a beauty that shines from within, that supersedes facial beauty.
Everyone loves free things. Claim It offers brands the opportunity to get free stuff into the hands of millions of people. Since launching the company in 2015, we have well over 400,000 app installs on the iOS platform, just in New York City. Now it's time to go national. We make it easy for brands to publish their virtual offers in minutes, targeting customers wherever they are. In order for users to claim a prize, they simply have to watch a 15-second ad, which is how we make our money, and a lot of it. Download Claim It. Thank you.
And this is Harlem Style. Kevin Y. Brown has mastered the art of style. It's not just a look, it's the first impression you make, the way you carry yourself, and the way you present yourself as a brand. Now, before moving to Harlem, Kevin grew up in the California foster care system. And although he had his share of adversity, he managed to excel academically and graduate college debt-free. Now, he's teaching others how to do the same. Plus, he has his own radio show on Harlem's very own radio station where he teaches others how to empower themselves and create their own destiny. Today, I have the privilege of speaking to this award-winning entrepreneur, international speaker, and author about his mission to empower others while staying true to himself and putting a twist of Harlem style.
You talk about building, I think that it's important to understand your limits and then push past them and ultimately create your life and make yourself the best that you can be. And I think that one of the monuments of becoming the best that you can be, especially depending on what you're doing. So, you know, if you're doing something like playing sports, then that would be to become a champion. And we actually have a champion here in the studio with us, Mr. Chris Canty.
What up?
Yeah, Chris, please say hello to the Create Your Life family.
What's up, Create Your Life family? Chris Canty in the building. And before we get started, Kev, I just got to, first of all, being on with the good brother of Kappa Alpha Psi, I gotta give you a shout out. And you know, really, it's an honor and a privilege to be a guest on the Create Your Life series. I'm a fan of your work, inspiring people to find their purpose.
There's two types of people in this world. How many different types of people are there in this world? Two. Okay. The two types of people are those who are labeled and those who are branded. A person who's labeled lets the world tell them who they are and what they're going to do with their lives. A person who's branded stands up, tells the world who they are and what they're going to do with their lives. But the difference between the two different types of people is you, the material that you're made up of, the decisions that you decide to make.
Growing up in the California foster care system, well, I went in when I was 9 months old and I emancipated at 18. The time in between was I would call it character building more than anything. It's one of those situations where I wouldn't wish it upon anybody else, but it's definitely survival of the fittest. And oftentimes, it's not just the physical abuse that may take place, it's really the mental capacity that you have and the ability to really stick through and grind it out. I've lived in about maybe 13 different homes, 9 before I was 5. I started out in the system with my older sister, and at the age of 10, when I was 10, she was 12, she got to move back home with our biological family and I had to stay. So I did the remaining 8 years in care by myself. And that's when I really learned to depend on myself and had some trying times, and during those trying times, it really boiled down to me wanting to create the life that I want, and that's where the name of the show comes from.
What's going on, everybody? This is Kev Brown with the Create Your Life series, and you already know, today we're talking about decisions. Konnichiwa, good afternoon. Today I'm reporting to you live from Mount Inari in Kyoto, Japan.
Most people, they don't leave a block. Most foster care kids don't leave wherever they're at because they haven't been exposed and they don't know. And so for me, I was like, all right, well, you know what? I'm going to shoot video of all of the culture, all of the people that I come in contact with, and I'm going to give out motivational messages and then I'm gonna make them into videos so that people can see that they could go to Japan. If I can go to Japan, then you could go to Japan. Like, there's nothing, you know, too extraordinary about me. You know what I mean? It's the hard work and the grind. And so the Create Your Life series was actually a YouTube series at first, where I went to Japan, Dominican Republic, the Bahamas, and also, you know, in my hometown in Vallejo.
Can you talk about when and why you decided to move to Harlem?
I want to move where the history is, and where people, you know, have done great things, like Sugar Hill, you know what I mean, the Harlem Renaissance, Langston Hughes, all of these people, Baldwin, like everybody, you know what I mean, had to go through here.
How would you describe your personal style?
I would say it's smooth, you know. I prefer to be in jeans and you know, some sneakers, but at the same time, I was told, and you know, I'm thankful for this message, but when I went to school, I only wore Jordans, baggy jeans and white tees. And then as I studied more of the game, you know, friends told me, or a mentor told me, Raphael Moffitt, he said, you need to be as fly when you dress up in your clothes as you are when you dress down.
I'm not big on labels because I'm just not a walking billboard unless it's my own stuff. You know, here and there you might catch me with something on, but you're never gonna see me with like a Gucci belt, you know what I mean, with the G's like loud. I believe in being under the radar as far as my dress, but I believe that it should look nice. So this sweater I actually got in Japan. I bought 3 of them. I bought this one, a gray one, a blue one, and a tan one. This is just a long sleeve shirt. Pants, fatigue pants, but you know, they like fatigue on a low, like you have to pay attention to them in order to see the fatigue. So again, I always believe in things being simple but, you know, sleek. And then I'm just wearing a pair of nice, you know, traditional black Chuck Taylors, because it's all, in today, you know, it's all about the sweater. That's what my outfit is, and so that's what I meant by, you know, less is more. And with my watch, you know, this is a simple watch, all black, and again, very unassuming.
Harlem is like no other place. And I appreciate that, being that I'm not from here. And as I travel the world, it's always good to come back to Harlem and be at home in Harlem.
So, if it's trendy and fresh, then it must be Harlem style. I'm Selena Hill.
When the business day is done, something is happening in Harlem at night up in Hamilton Heights. You can't quite see it all yet, but the birds have arrived, perched on the security gates, the Audubon Mural Project. It's beauty with the message.
We're painting 314 bird murals. All the birds have been deemed threatened by climate change, according to the National Audubon Society's research.
Makes sense to do it here. After all, Audubon was a Hamilton Heights resident.
John James Audubon, for whom the National Audubon Society is named, lived the last 10 years of his life here in a house called Minnie's Land, which was basically on land between 155th and 156th, from the river to Amsterdam Avenue.
Ave Gitler, owner of the Gitler Art Gallery, located on Broadway between 149th and 150th Streets, is the co-organizer of the Audubon Mural Project. The Gitler Art Gallery is such an eclectic mix of unique pieces, exposing Harlem to creations many may love or not, or maybe just can't quite make out. When we visited, the very abstract work of Susan Card was on display.
I don't really know how to describe it, but it's a lot of oil paint on I guess a wooden base. Susan is sort of in the mold of, you know, your abstract expressionist Jackson Pollock. The original idea behind opening the gallery here was to present work that normally in New York you'd have to go downtown to see. You'd have to go to Chelsea or to the Lower East Side.
Looking closer, you see the passion in her paint strokes. Artists from around the world will be featured, and artists like Ayobi, who is from right here in Harlem.
Most of it is based on like the things I've seen growing up, all the graffiti and so forth, and how it was looked on as a bad thing, and then when you go to other countries, it's more art.
But Ayobi just doesn't use a small canvas. He uses the walls of the entire gallery.
Someone described it as abstract graffiti, and I kind of like that title, so I'll run with that.
Tom Sanford is another artist whose work you will see at Gitler Gallery.
I've lived in Harlem for almost 20 years since I went to undergraduate school down in Morningside Heights. Your neighborhood becomes like really the center of your attention. I thought instead of making paintings of political figures or celebrities, I wanted to make paintings of people that made my life so rich, and that was the people around me.
Check this out. His family, friends, neighbors have become his muse.
Bill T. Jones is kind of the center of the painting. He's dancing in the subway, doing kind of like, so, you know, he's more of a kind of modern dancer. I had him kind of break dancing in the middle of the subway.
Tom was also the featured artist in an exhibit on beer.
And I'm going to paint 99 beers for the people to come and see, and they come and drink their beer and see my paintings of beer.
Avi says this is a community gallery. He invites the community to come on in. You never know what you'll see. He wouldn't want to be anywhere else but Harlem.
The reception's been outstanding. I don't know how well known it is outside of the greater Harlem neighborhood, but you know, the friendliest people in New York come from uptown Manhattan. So, you know, I knew it was going to be great, and it's been great all along.
That's all the time we have for now, but join us next time on What's Eating Harlem. I'm Vanessa Tyler. See you uptown.
Yeah. Me and you taking flight on this electric ride. World sees us tonight. We're lightning bolts in the sky, flashing with thunder, and it's beautiful all over. Yeah, let me feel vibrations going through my system.